Hello again, everyone. Two Sheds Gabby here. Today I'm going to go through a box of nickels. This is a box that I picked up, yesterday. Yeah. Anyway, I opened it up and it's not all new coins, so we've got to search. And we'll see what we find. Yesterday, man, I went through those half dollars. I did quite well. Two 90%ers and four 40%ers. Pretty cool. And silver's up too. It's over $35. I think $36 an ounce today. That's pretty neat. Makes those silver coins worth even more. I think I said something a while back. My Yetis failed me. The double insulation or whatever quit working. Ice started melting like any other cup. And a friend of mine heard about it, and she had an off-brand that she offered me, and I took it. And it worked great for a little while. And then the other day, last week, I went to pick it up off of the coffee table or end table, and it was all sweaty and there's water on the table. It's like, that's not supposed to happen with double insulated. And I noticed the next couple of days that you put the ice in, it just doesn't last no time. So I was in the process of looking for another one when, lo and behold, one shows up in the mail. My wife had ordered me one. Anyway, it's a big, cool one. It's the screw-on lid. I guess it's more secure, but I'm not used to that. But it's heavier duty and a little bit bigger. So hopefully that's going to last me for years to come. Anyway, let's get started, shall we? Nothing noteworthy in this first roll here, but I wanted to show you this. 2 days ago, I got home and I was emptying my pockets for the end of the day, and I had a quarter and a penny and a nickel, and I was about ready to throw them, in the box to be returned, and I just glanced at this nickel and it's a 2025. It's the first 2025 I've gotten in circulation. I've had a couple of friends give me a few 2025 coins, pennies and nickels. But this is the very first one that I've gotten. And I just happened to get it, in change from a store. Anyway, that was kind of fun. Just wanted to show you that. I finally got one. Well, I opened the very next row, and it was an ender, but I didn't pay no attention to it. I got me a 2009 Philadelphia. The Philadelphia is around 10 million less mintage than the D. They're both collectible. They're both low mintage, but the P is even less than the D. So that's pretty nifty. Pretty neat way to start. I've been getting quite a few 2024 Ps in each box, and so unless something else, mighty fun comes along, I hope I'm still getting some of those, I'll trade it in for a V-nickel and a buffalo with a date and a silver. All that's fun stuff. I have a confession to make about my Yeti. I love it. It's really is great. But I had told myself, I didn't tell my wife, I had told myself that I was going to find a double insulated American made the next time I got one. But that's okay. She didn't know that. And so this one is a Yeti. Yetis are great. They work good and all that. But I like them. But it's not American made. So I'll use this one and I will love it and I'll enjoy it. But if this one fails me, there's 2024 P number one. So it has started. Cool beans. That's great. So if this one fails me somewhere down the road, I'll make sure to let her know in time that the next mug water carrying device will be American made. I have a phone call I have to take. I am back. That was one of my banks calling. She goes, I didn't know if you wanted them or not, but we just got a bag full of the dollar coins. The Susan B's and all that stuff. And I said, you are amazing to call me. I said, but I'm just not into those very much. So I'm going to let whoever's second in line take those. And she goes, okay, you're first on my list. And I said, you're amazing. Now I'm in the fourth row, and here's my second 2024 Philadelphia nickel. Well, I was just running through the last row, and I came across the 2005 Buffalo. And I noticed he is wounded up on his back, but not from the mint. he got he got wounded elsewhere, so I guess we won't keep that one. But he is wounded, after all. Oh, we are dealing with tax issues. Man, I don't even like to talk about it. I had a tax lady that I used for years, and she was great, and didn't charge me a lot. She said that we had put our information together really neat and easy for her, and she would file it, and everything was hunky-dory for years, and she gave me all the tax breaks that she could. And then over a year ago, I don't know what happened to her. She fell off the face of the earth. I had asked her if she'd do it. And she said yes, and so I took her all my tax stuff, and then I never heard from her again. So it was crazy. We tried to find her, and called, left messages. Oh my goodness! And I've never found her. I don't know what happened to her. All my paperwork gone. All my stuff. So we had to try to recreate it and find somebody else to do it. And we went over a year, so we're over a year behind. I'll tell you more later. A little bit more than halfway through the next roll, and here is 2024 P number 3. So anyway, like I said, we were over a year, didn't have our taxes done. And I got a CPA that did the taxes for my cousin's estate that I was in charge of. And I said, hey, can you do my taxes? And I explained to him it's actually for 2 years. There's another one, 2024 P, that's number 4. And he goes, yeah, I'll do it. And I'm like, okay, great. And so I had to recreate all this paperwork for the year before, put in the stuff for this year. And that was like the end of February of this year. Lots of time. I gave it to him. I waited. Somewhere around the 1st of April, I was calling him, leaving messages. Never heard. Let me tell you again in the next row. All right, next row. This is the 6th row. So, during April, I never heard from him. It's like, well, great. I was supposed to have it filed by the 15th. I called and left messages and never heard from him. It's like, oh, this is professional. And I finally quit trying to call him, and I just started talking to the lady at the front office, and I told her who I was and the ordeal, and she looked it up. She says, oh, my, yes. She goes, that's way overdue. I'll get this expedited. And so I waited a week and didn't hear from him. And I called back, and I explained who I was, and she looked it up. She says, oh, my, yes. We need to get this expedited. Exact same thing. And I waited another week and didn't hear anything, so I called back again. And this time she said, yes. She goes, it'll be done in like a day. So the next day they did call me, said it's ready. So I went to pick up my stuff, and sound papers and all that stuff. And for this year, for the 2024 year, I had enough stuff. I didn't have to pay any taxes, but he said, but for 2023, you owe like $6,000 something self-employment. I said, that's insane. I said, I didn't make that much more money. And he's like, well, that's life or whatever. I forget, but ridiculous. So I said, usually my mileage helps a whole lot. And he turned out, because there's nothing here for mileage. I said, I gave you the sheet with the mileage on it. He goes, well, I don't see anything. I don't have anything. I'm like, unbelievable. You lost it. Of course, he wouldn't admit that. So now I've had to come home and again recreate, going through all my paperwork, the mileage. Ugh, so crazy. She says, we're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, where we don't close for lunch. So I called her at 2:30 to give her the information, and nobody answered the phone. I'm not going to leave a message and put her. I mean, I left a message, but I didn't give her the information because I'm not going to expect her to have it and then call back in a week and she'll go, well, I never got that. So I'll just call again on Monday, I guess. And there's enough mileage. It should get it down a lot. I'll probably still have to pay a little bit, but it should get it down a whole lot. But then their fee, they're a month and a half late. They should have just done it for nearly nothing. But they charge 7.5 times more than the other tax person that I had for the last 8 years. So for 2 years, it's 15 times more than what I would have done for a year for this other lady. For 2 years, 7.5 times more. Outrageous. But I'll pay it, live and learn, and never do that again. This is the 7th row, and here's 2024P, number 5. And I hate admitting what I just did. Oh, there's number 6, groovy. While I was telling the story, venting about my tax situation, which is, it's just been so frustrating. Hopefully we get it resolved here within this week. But anyway, it will be glad to have it all done and not have to worry about being over a year behind and all that stuff. But while I was telling all of that, somehow or another, I got my 2009P in with my return box, all of that. So I had to pour them all out and go through it. And about halfway through, I found it. So I didn't have, at least it wasn't the very last coin. I will say I didn't look for it anymore after I found it. So I did find it in the last place I looked. There's another one. There's 3 in that row. Pretty cool. This is now the 9th row, and this is the 8th 2024P. So they're stacking pretty good, if nothing else, right? It's fun finding them still. I told you guys probably a good while back that I got a box of the 2024Ps, a whole box of them. And I had listed some, but they hadn't been selling. And then I realized that we found out that the price was, the mintage was way off, and they were actually lower than what we thought. So I just kind of took them off for a little while. And then I waited and just watched a little bit. So then I redid them, and I put a little higher price. And they still wasn't moving real well, and so I just started tinkering with the price. And I had a little special thing going there that, is that a 2024P? I think it is, but in pretty rough shape. No, it's 2020. If you buy 2 rolls of the sealed rolls, then you get a free wheat penny and a free 2024P that I got in circulation. And so I had several people just buying 1 roll, and I'm like, well, I guess nobody's interested. But now this last week, I had one person get 2 rolls, another person get 4 rolls. So I had 2 people get 4 rolls. So I'm sending out a couple of extra bonus coins now. I am now in the 11th row, and here is another 2024P. And guess how many I have now? Guess which number this is. Yes, this is number 9. Number 9. They're coming low, and there's number 10, double digits. A little gook on the edge of that guy, but there's number 10. Well, if we don't find nothing else, hopefully we'll find a whole bunch of them. I took a break for about an hour. I've got a whole bunch of equipment from the company that I sell for, and so I've been listing stuff on eBay. There's all types of just Allen Bradley little parts in these bags. They're pretty time consuming because you got to pull out all the little bags and make sure that they're all the same model numbers, and it can get kind of hectic. But I sell a lot of that stuff though, so I like selling some of the bigger stuff, but that's okay. I'll sell what I can sell. I make the money. Got to keep that cash flow going. My wife should be back any minute. She went to, she had a card. We had taken some stuff back to a big hardware store, and she thought she had all her receipts, but she didn't have a few, so they gave her store credit for some stuff. And she saw today that they've got some bird feeders on closeout, and we love our birds, right? We just enjoy the singing and all. And we were at some friends the other day, and they had the cutest little yellow finches. And so she may try to find a bird feeder and maybe some seed, see if we can attract one of those little yellow finches. This is the 12th row, and this is the first older one. Here's a 1949. And S is low mintage, a semi-key date. That would be sweet. What is that? That's a Denver. Okay, well, that's our first older one put away. I didn't mention also while my wife is out, we've just been doing little things, the little this, little that, burning a bunch of old sticks and limbs this morning, and we had a little bit of lunch, just leftover stuff, and we didn't really plan. There's 2024P number 11 for dinner, so I said, why don't you just stop and grab us some Chinese or something? So she wrote a minute ago and said 10 minute, because whenever we call the order of Chinese, they go 10 minute. And so she wrote to me and said 10 minute. 13th row, here's 2024P number 12. I am back now from having Chinese take home with my lunch, with my wife. Pretty good stuff. There's several Chinese restaurants around, and so we've tried several of them, trying to pick out the one that we like the best. And we think we found the one for our little area. We were at a place, oh, there's number 13. While we were out making our rounds, going to the banks yesterday, and we saw one that my wife thinks we might have gone there years ago. My brother and his wife says they like it a lot, but we both kind of agreed that when we're out, we don't go in to Chinese restaurants to eat. We go to, a steak place or a big buffet salad or Mexican or just things like that. And usually our Chinese is when we are home and we just don't feel like making any dinner, so we go out to pick something up. So it's going to be more local. And so, oh, there's number 14. Cool. 2024P number 14. And so within a few mile radius, there's half a dozen or so. And so we have gone to each one to decide which one of those we like the best. And we think we have pretty much concluded the one, our go-to place, I guess you'd say. But we love hot and sour soup, and I don't think I've tried all the different hot and sour soups. And sometimes the places that makes my entrees that we like the best don't make the best hot and sour soup. So over a course of time, I'll have to go to each one and try their hot and sour soup and make a decision. Is that another one? Wow. That is another one. That is 15. Golly, guys, we may get a whole bunch of them. Here is the 14th row, and there's number 16. Whoop. Fading away on me. So how many will we get while we're 14? Let's say 40. Let's see if we get 40. Number 17. Wow. Copper's up. It went up and dropped back just a little. I looked, I think it was yesterday, and each copper penny had gotten up to 2.95 cents, inching its way back up to closer to 3 cents each. but it dropped back and just now looked, and it's 2.93 cents. So it's still up a little bit more than it was last week. And a dollar's worth of nickels is worth $1.12. Last week it was $1.10. So they're ever so slightly over a nickel a piece in value. And silver at $36. Golly, that's pretty good. Now I'm in the 17th row. 17th row, and here's number 18, 2024p. 18. So I was just talking with my wife about what she got while she was at the hardware place. And she did get the bird feeder and bag of thistle stuff is what finches like. So, and I guess other little tiny birds too. Probably not just finches. But hopefully we'll draw some of those pretty little guys in. We've already got a few cardinals around. Oh, looks like an older one there. Oh, and there's another 2024. That is number 19, I think. Yeah. And that's a 1946 Philadelphia. Well, there's two from the 40s. Not many of them coming along. Look at that. There's 20. We're halfway to our 40. Maybe we'll get 50. Maybe I'm pushing it. But we're not halfway, and we've already got 20. I'm going to shoot for 50. We might not get it, but that's going to be my goal for this box. Probably can't have too many rolls without any. All right, the next row, and here is a 1954. The San Francisco is the one you want, but that's not the one we got. This one is the Philadelphia. I think the Philadelphia is the second lowest. I think the Denver is the high one on that year. Nineteenth row, and here is 21. 2024p, number 21. What if I'll get a D? I've gotten a couple of those lately, but never more than one in a box. Ever. That guy's not wounded. Twentieth row. Here's 2024p, number 22. What do you guys think? Cast your votes. Do you think I'll get it 50 or not this box? It's raining out today. It's been on and off most of the day. I went out this morning to do some more plowing in my mom's garden because we knew it was going to rain. I got one section of it done last week, and I got it's broke up into thirds, and I got the next bigger third done today, and I started on the last little section, but we have a Ryobi, and we've got 3 batteries. 2 of them are pretty good size, but one of them is rated a little smaller. But I ran out of battery juice before I could finish. Well, this is near the beginning of the 21st row, and there is number 23. Adding up pretty quickly. Number 24. Oh, man. That's cool. I said that the batteries ran out of juice. I'll have to say I was pretty glad they ran out of juice because I was about out of juice too. Shoot, I was tired. That stuff just beats you to death. This old garden, I don't think that anybody that has rototilled it for years has gotten more than a couple inches deep. And there's another one. I dig it down as deep as it'll go. And then I yank it up to start on the next little section. It's a bear, I'm telling you. That is number 25, guys. Oh, man. That's really cool. I think we got a... Oh, there's another 2009. Look at that. We got a P and a D this box. Man, that's pretty sweet. Don't get that very... Oh, my goodness. Look at that. Number 26. Oh, my goodness. That's pretty amazing. 27. What a roll. Of course, you guys know what I want. Do I have to say it? I'm sure I don't, but I want a silver. 27th row and the ender. This was the ender, guys. And it's a 24D. Can I get 2 in one box? Awesome getting this. That's really cool. But oh, it'd be fun to get 2 in one box. Never done that. I'm shooting for a lot this time, ain't I? I'll tell you. I don't mean to. That is number 28. Wow. 28. Oops. It's been amazing so far already. We got the 2009 P and D, a 2024 D, and 28 24 Ps already. Not halfway through the box yet. Only a couple of the older ones, though. That's okay. Ooh, that's beat up. There's the Monticello. Oh, you can kind of see the face in there. Oh, that's wild. Third row, and here is number 29, 2024 P. 29. We have the main road out in front of our house, and then it was my grandfather's farm that went down when I was a kid, it was a little gravel road that went down beside this house to some of the other family houses. But that property, after my grandpa passed away, it went to the kids, and they sold the property to developers, and they've got those patio homes back there behind us now. And the road is named after my grandfather. Well, the family name. And our mailbox is on the little side road there, but our address is for the main road out here, and so that throws some people off. We've got the number on the mailbox, but it still throws people off. So my wife went out and got one of those little address things that you stick in the ground, and you put it out near the road, and it's got a light thing so that it'll shine at night and have our address where people can see it, if we have to call an ambulance or something. And so we'll try to get that up to Mari. There's a 1940. S is what we want, but S is not what we get. Solar. It's got a little tiny solar panel on top of it. Near the end of the 24th row, and here, guys, is number 30. Just 20 away from the 50. Oh, man. That is wild. That'll definitely be the most I ever got if I get that much. I think 42, something like that, is the most I've ever gotten. Well, ain't that a nasty looking mess? I don't know what that is. I don't know. Hold on a second. I don't think that it's... Oh. It's not gum. It's like wax. It's pretty nasty. The last row in the first half of the box will soon be entering part 2 of this video. But here is 2024 P number 31. 31. And my goal is 50. I mean, I think we got a crazy good shot at it. if it don't just dry up on me, which could happen, you know. I've seen one half be way different than another half many times. 1946, that's my second 46. And I think they're both Philadelphia. That's a shiny looking new one. And that's another one. 32. Nice. The second row and the second half, guys. And here's a 1939. Is there any chance of me getting a D or an S tonight? Whew, here we go. Nope. Oh, bummer. I never get those. Oh, man. Maybe someday. My mom would say Elwood. She always called me Elwood. In this world, you have to be oh so smart or oh so pleasant. Well, for years I was smart, but I recommend pleasant. You can quote me. I love the movie Harvey, one of my favorites. So many great lines in that movie. She didn't trust me or my buggy. This is a new looking one, but it's a 22. Uh-oh, could it be a couple of rows without a 2024? Oh boy. Here we go. This is the third row in the second half of the box. And here's 2024 P, number 33. 33. 57, there's a 1957 Philadelphia. Couple of them now for the 50s. I was talking to my son. I can't remember if it was yesterday or the day before, but he's wanting us to start planning another gold panning trip. You know, we went last year down to Georgia, and that on the way home, I wrecked my car and totaled it. Man, what a bummer. But we didn't find any gold. There was a post on the post that said that all the gold is gone from here. Oh, we think we're going to go to Indiana this year. Hey, there's another one. Oh, there's another one, another one. Another one, another one. And there's another one. Wow. That is 34, 35, and 36. How about that? Wow. So there in central Indiana, there is a gold panning club, and I've followed them a little bit on Facebook. And I'm going to contact them and find out when their next meeting is. And my son and I are hoping to get up there to meet all of the guys and gals and in the club. And if they'll let us, we'll join the club. And then maybe we can ask them if there's a property that we could camp out on for a couple of days where we have a good shot at, finding some gold flakes. We just want to find a little bit. On the fourth row in the second half is a 2024 P Ender. So maybe we'll find another one in this row too. This is number 37 right here. I have panned in Indiana back quite a few years ago while my kids were little. I've got pictures of me out there with our kids, and they were really little. Oh wow! But we did find just a little bit. I wasn't out there real long, but we found a little bit. That was fun. And the kids had fun. And I even wrote a little article for the Gold Prospectors Association of America, and they published my article, and they even paid me. So, yeah, I'm a paid publisher. I mean, I'm a writer. I'm a paid writer. Ain't that something? And I've been paid for my photography, so I'm a paid photographer. Stock photography. I've dabbled in several little things. They asked me to write another article for the GPAA, and I never have. I wish I... Oh, there's 37. 37. I wish I hadn't. I wish I had written more. I'd like to have gotten into writing several columns for them. But, stuff happens in life, and you get, there were times that we were struggling when we were raising little ones, and wasn't always easy keeping the roof over our head and the food on the table. We always did, but we struggled at it at times. Almost the end of the fifth row of the second half, I went back and something didn't seem right, so I went back and counted where I was at, and that last one was number 38, so this is number 39 here. I don't know if any of you guys caught that or not, but that just now made 39. We're just 11 away. We got a lot of rows left. Hey guys, I mentioned this last year. At the end of every 10 rolls, I just take these guys and I roll them up like this, and then I'll throw them in a bag. I've got a couple bags of these, but when it's time to go out and make our fire, I'll grab a couple of these and then open them up and spread them out at the bottom and put the limbs on it. And this is how I start my fires, and it works out pretty groovy. The sixth row in the second half, and here is number 40. Number 40, just 10 to go. Wow. That's really neat. Oh, there's another 1946. Probably another Philadelphia. Yep, sure is. There's 3 of those. Well, there's a whole row we've got already. Number with 40. I have done that once before, and up with 42. That's at least 3 64s I've seen in this row. Okay, guys, I get another shot at it. This is the 8th row, and here's another 1939. Man, we're hoping to see a mint mark. Not for me, Bubba. There's another 2024 P though right behind it. That makes 41. 41, just 9 to go. My dad grew up on a pretty good sized farm. I think they said they got electricity on that farm in like 49 or 50 or something like that. But there's another one right there, number 42. But my dad said that, and it was down in southern Kentucky, and the closest town was Morgantown, Kentucky. And I think my dad said he was 14 years old. He went to town with his dad, and he got his first chili dog when he was 14. He said that was the greatest thing ever. Ninth row in the second half, and here's number 24P, 43. Every now and then, he said his dad would come back from, going into town and bring some groceries. A lot of his mom made just about everything. And they had lots of farmland and their gardens. And so a lot of what they ate, and they raised cattle and pigs. So a lot of what they ate, they raised themselves. But he said his dad would come home sometimes with sliced bread and a jar of mayonnaise, and they just sit there and put the mayonnaise on the bread and just eat it. They were so thrilled to get that, they would just eat it like that. I don't know if they'd get to eat all of it, if their dad would get mad at him or not, but they said that he'd eat that, and he just loved it. And my dad he said he loved vinegar. He'd put vinegar on stuff, and he said he'd put so much vinegar on it, his lips would start to turn white. I like vinegar. I have a shot of apple cider vinegar every day, but and I like vinegar in food, like German potato salad has a decent amount of vinegar in it, and I love it. But not as much as my dad, apparently, because my lips have never turned white. Number 44. This is the 11th row in the second half. 2024 P, number 44. 44. My family is, we're mutts, but we're predominantly German descent. But my family came over a long time ago. I don't think it was on the Mayflower or nothing like that, but they can trace them back a long way. Some of my family, some years back, traced them back, and we've been here a long time. 12th row, and here's another old one, 1940, pretty worn. And it is I believe that's an S. Yes, it is, 1940. And why couldn't the 39 have been the S? 1940 San Francisco. I used to spend a lot of time down on the farm. And I grew up around guns a whole lot. I was 10, 11 years old, and I would get up before everybody else sometimes. And I'd grab either my 20 gauge shotgun or my 22 rifle, and I'd take my dad's 32 Smith & Wesson revolver, put it around my waist, and I would just head out into the woods by myself and just spend the day. And sometimes I'd hunt squirrels, sometimes I would just goof off. I could kill and gut a squirrel and skin it in a couple of minutes back in those days. Right at the end of the 13th row, and there is number 45. 24P, number 45. And I just dropped a nickel and it rolled all the way across the room. Near the end of the 15th row, and I get my Canadian. I generally get at least one a box. 1985. I put those away. Still at 45. After this row, we got 10 rolls to go. Oh, there's a 1955 Denver. 55 Denver. What we really wanted was the 55 Philadelphia. All right, we are winding down. Here is a 1947. After this roll, there's just 9 rolls. We're still at number 45 for the 24 Ps. The D and the S are the ones you want in 47. They're fairly low mintage. Well, we got another Philadelphia. I'm getting a lot of those Philadelphias tonight. We went a few rolls without a 24, but here is number 46, and there's 8 rolls to go. So it's still looking pretty good, I think. Each roll that I open up, I look for that color on the end, but it just ain't happening tonight. I was hoping to see one of those big P's on top of the Monticello, but don't look like it's going to happen in this box. There's not a lot of old ones in this box. We had several rolls without a 2024 P. Here is number 47. We need 3 more, and there's 4 more rolls after this. But yeah, we're getting a good amount of rolls without any, so it may be tight here at the very end. May not even get it at all. There's another 1940. What was that? Another Philadelphia. We did get a 40S earlier. Oh, we need 3 more. What happened to those multiples in one row? 2022 P, number 48, and there's 2 rows to go. Oh, man. That's wild. Getting it close. There's still a lot of this row left, though. That one was pretty early on in the row, you see. So maybe we'll get another one in this row. Man, I hope I get my 50. You know, earlier, toward the end of the first half, I thought, man, I wasn't going to say nothing, but I thought, I might even get 60. Now I'm really hoping to get the 50, which I might not. I might not get it at all. I'm almost convinced there won't be a silver, because there just ain't much old stuff in this box. Oh man, this is really tight. 2 rolls left, and we need 2 more. Oh man. All right. This is pretty early in the next row. So after this row, I still have 1 more row. And here is number 49. 2024 P, number 49. It wouldn't bother me to just go ahead and get it. And then no stress, right? Oh, there's a 1957. We want the Philadelphia. We got the Denver. That's pretty high mintage. This one looks pretty good. That's it. 2024 P, number 50, guys. How about them apples? Whew, we got 1 D, 2024 D, like usual. Oh man, we got the 50. That's neat. That looks old. 1947. What was that mintage? 47 Denver. Cool. Now we got a handful of the older ones. All right, 1 row to go, and we'll see if anything shows up in that one. Well, guys, this is the last row. Still got a little ways to go. Here is my 3rd, 1939. This one is worn more than the other 2, but I'd still like to see a D or an S. Nope. I just can't get them, guys. I just can't get them. Oh, well. Got the D and the P of the 2009. We did get a D in the 2024, just one. And we got 50 2024 Ps. 50. Pretty nice. Almost done here. There's the last one. Well, here's what we got, guys. 50s, 40s, 30s, Canadian. 5 rolls of 10 of the 24. Ain't that something? I got exactly 50. That's, I couldn't have picked that differently. Couldn't have picked it better. That's really cool. There's my 2024D, and here's my P and D of the 2009s. I am going to call it a great box, even though I didn't get, an S or a Buffalo or nothing. But that's some good stuff. That is some good stuff. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. It was fun seeing if we'd get the 50, and we actually did. That's really neat. And give me your feedback. Love to hear from you, and we'll see you in the next hunt. Good luck hunting.